Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry for the echo. I want to make sure we are broadcasting and then I'm going to get started. All right, it looks like we are good. So, I was going to go live on Substack, but I can't figure out how to share my screen there. So, I'm going to do it on YouTube. And I wanted to share my screen because there's a number of things I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to be talking about what has been going on since the November 5th election. And right after November 5th, when I started noticing things were going, there was a lot of weird stuff happening, I started making a list. So I'm going to show you the list. I'm going to show you a number of other things that I've noticed, including stuff that has been happening recently. And then you can see all the updates and you can see what's been happening. And just to give some updates. So I'm going to start with the page that's on the screen right now. And this video has a watermark, so it's going to be a little hard to see. But I'm going to pull up my notepad, and the first line has a link to this site. So you can pause the video, you can take a look, darkbluegroup.gitbook.io. This is my ongoing list of things that I have noticed before the election, on election day, and after. And what you'll notice on this list is that there are not very many items related to data, okay? And I'm going to explain why. But first of all, there's the link. Let me test this out. So when you put that link in, it's going to take you to the Dark Blue Group Information Hub. What you'll have to do is on the left-hand side, go down to Evidence of Election Interference. This is the list that I am updating to this day. If there's ever anything about the election that is a little suspicious, it's getting added to the list. And right now, there's about 70 items. And I also included a link to those items. And I'm going to show a couple items today as we go through the list. But some of these items have multiple sub items within them. So it's kind of like going down a rabbit hole. So, for example, this number 63 draft duty to warn letter, if you open this up, this is a Substack post that is pretty long and has a lot of items in it. You can see from just scrolling a little bit, a lot of items. Some of them I've added to the list, some of them I haven't added to my list because it's within that list that's already there. So this is how you get to the list, and this is where I will be keeping track of all the items. So if you go to this list and there's an item that's not there, I would like you to send me an email. And this is my email. You can pause the video, write it down, whatever you need to do. So I know it's risky putting my email out there, but it's okay. So this is my list. I'll be continuing to update it as we go. I've already been adding stuff since I started it, and eventually it's going to be getting to be about 100 items, and it could keep growing because there is stuff coming out all the time that connects to this puzzle. And something else that I made a video on TikTok, and I'm going to show you guys briefly one of the things I'm working on. So in the middle is Election Day. These three are the three different types of voting, either on Election Day or before Election Day. And I've been showing snippets of this drawing, and people ask, like, how can I get access to it? Well, you have to join our Discord, and you can message me either on Discord, or you can message me on Blue Sky. Let me put up my Blue Sky. Hopefully you can see this in the video. My profile is The Grumpy Dude, which is actually my original TikTok before it was taken down. So The Grumpy Dude on Blue Sky. You can, my DMs are open, you can message me there, but I'm only giving people access to the drawing and to other content from the Discord. You don't have to pay to get on the Discord, completely free. Just join the send me a message, request to get on the Discord, and once you're on the Discord, send me a message and say, hey, I want to take a look at your whiteboard. So I'm not going to go through it right now. I'll go through it in another video. I want to make this video about overall what's been happening and all the different items that I've been following. So I just wanted to show that drawing. People were asking, like, where's that video at, or where's that drawing at? So it's on a whiteboard that I'm kind of keeping locked down, but I'll be making more videos of it soon. So in this list, there aren't items related to data. Now, if you want to see the data page, you can come over to the next item on the left menu, but there's not very many items on there. And that's because there's so many, and honestly, I don't have time to keep updating multiple lists. And there are a lot of people out there already doing data, and people that are data analysts, professionals. I'm not a data analyst, so I'm leaving it to the experts. If I get time, I will start working on this list, but I'm staying pretty busy with my main list. So this list that you see, there's no data items on it. I have a separate list for it. That's why you don't see any data items on there. So there are two organizations that I am directing people to regarding any items related to data, and you probably have heard of them. The first one is Election Truth Alliance. This is their website. Let me put it in the notepad so you can see it. electiontruthalliance.org. That's first organization. The second one is Smart Elections. Both of these are, I believe they're nonprofits, and they have been evaluating the election data in depth. They both have entire teams of evaluating the data, and then I get it in my videos and I relay the information, but some of it I haven't even dug into all the way, but I have been trying to keep up with everything that's happening. So recently I watched a video of Election Truth Alliance. There's a guy named Nathan, Election Truth Alliance. He's really smart. He knows his stuff. And if you go to analysis and go to Clark County, this is one of the recent analysis they've done on the data with Clark County. And he did a video on YouTube with, I forget the person's name, but he goes through line by line talking about what they're seeing in the election data. And there's a lot of stuff here, okay? They talk about drop-off votes. And one of the things I want to show you guys is that when they look at the data, and this is total votes per machine at the bottom, and the percentage of votes along the left side, for early voting for 2024, when the data starts grouping, that's not normal, okay? So what you'll see is over on the left, before it reaches 250, it hits 250 total votes per machine. It's more spread out, and that's more natural to how it should look. And then as it hits 250, you start to notice the data starting to come together into a tight group. And you'll notice that it starts to rise above 60% for Trump. And on the other side, for Harris, as you get to 250, you start to notice that the data is gathering below 40%. So you see what it should look like, and then you notice a pattern that is very unnatural. So the data tells a story, is what I often say when I'm talking about this. So without getting too in depth with it, this is just one example of how they've analyzed the data. And if you go to their website, you can look through and you can read through all of this. They're showing how it looks on election day and how it looks with early voting, and what they see as problems and irregularities with the data, especially with early voting for Clark County in this election. This is also known as the Russian tail, which you can see on each side of this bell curve. So they talk about that. You can go to their website and you can read all this. They have sources. They have professional analysis. So, electiontruthalliance.org. There is more over on smartelections.us. So, anything with data, there's a lot of stuff there. I want to make sure to point that out to you guys. Now, let's talk about the timeline. So, in my list, I have dates for when stuff happened. And I tried to put these in order by date, but I'm still working that out. So some of the items may end up changing because they may be out of order right now. The most important thing for me is to get items onto this list because I want to get as much as I can into one list for people to be able to look at. And I've had people say that this is a good list. It has a lot of stuff that people have brought up to me and stuff that I've found. So, what I want to do is go back to January 19th. All right? And down here, which is I don't think I have it in the right order. No, I don't have it in the right order. I'm still figuring this out. But as of right now, it's item 61. Trump held his rally in Washington, D.C. And I just want to play for you what he said.
All those computers, those vote counting computers, and we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon. He knows computers better than anybody. All those computers, those vote counting computers, and we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon. He knows computers better.
All right, I played it twice. So some people would tell you that, you know, Elon helped him with the election, and some people would say that, you know, there isn't anything in there. But the thing is that no one thing is going to give you the answer on this stuff. What you have to do is you have to put the pieces together. That's why on this drawing, it looks crazy. It really looks crazy. And this is the puzzle that I'm putting together. And as you put these puzzle pieces together, it starts to form a picture. Because when you're putting a puzzle together, you don't know what the picture is until the pieces start getting put into place. And at this point, I'm starting to see a pretty good picture. So even before this video came out, the picture was coming together, and this is one of the pieces that fit perfectly into my puzzle. He thanked Elon he said that Elon knows these vote counting computers better than anyone. He knows the computers, the vote counting computers, and he thanked Elon. And the people that say like there's nothing there, they're either lying or they're covering it up, or they're just not following along. They don't see what we see. And the thing about it is that there's a lot of other videos out there where they talk about how, first of all, before the election, Elon Musk had a war room and an election headquarters in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he was running a whole operation to get Trump elected. So not only did he give over $270 million to Trump's campaign, but he was constructing a complete operation in order to get Trump elected. And that involves him not only knowing about election voting hardware and software, he knew about voting data. He may have even purchased older voting machines so he could study them. And the reason I know that is because there's another post where they talk about how Elon would see a machine from across the room and he would say, oh, those are the new machines. So Elon can tell the difference from across the room, the different versions of hardware tabulation machines. And that's not something that just people within a campaign know about. Election voting machines, the tabulation machines, are supposed to be physically locked up. So the question I ask a lot is, why was he doing that? Why would somebody want to purchase voting machines, tabulation machines? Why would they want to do that? And for me, it's very obvious why he wants to do that. He wanted to gain access to machines to find exploits in them, either in the hardware or in the software. So that's why I believe he purchased voting machines, and then it would not surprise me if he took steps to get rid of them, or at least hide them in a warehouse somewhere that mostly only he has access to. I think there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't hear about, and that's one of them. So, getting back to the video, this was January 19th. So this was the night before Donald Trump was going to be sworn into office on January 20th. So, and most people were talking about how Trump was going to hold the inauguration inside the Capitol Rotunda because it was too cold outside, right? So when Trump said this, there was a lot of people online taking notice of it. Including members of Congress. And one of them was Representative Jasmine Crockett. And she posted online, I believe on Blue Sky or Twitter, that basically, did Trump just admit to rigging the election? She said something like that. So a lot of people have said, like, why isn't Congress doing anything? Like, don't they know what's going on? These people absolutely know what's going on. Absolutely. And I mean, someone must have not told Jasmine Crockett that you're not supposed to talk about the election being rigged. Or they told her and she doesn't care because she posted about it. I should have saved it because before I made this video I was looking for it and I can't find it. So, but it was posted. I don't know if she deleted it or I just can't find it, but she absolutely knows about it. So, that was January 19th. Then February 2nd, Jasmine Crockett tweets on Blue Sky. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can find it, but. So, see if I can scroll down to February 2nd. Right here. I found it. Let me see if I can blow this up. Jasmine Crockett posted on February 2nd and said, in quotes, vote for me and you'll never have to vote again, unquote. Less than 2 weeks into his presidency, how do you now interpret this statement? Because she is quoting Donald Trump on one of the many things he said before November 5th, Election Day. Vote for me and you'll never have to vote again. So Jasmine Crockett is very aware of the things that Donald Trump has said. And she's posting about it publicly on social media, quoting Donald Trump and the types of stuff that you will see in the big picture. And I have added these to my list of odd things about this election. Here's another thing.
I hope these expenses are in policy.
These expenses are not within policy.
I'm going to show you another video of another thing that came up. This is another thing that came up later on. And this is on my YouTube channel. This is the Texas Attorney General talking about how he met with Elon Musk before the election. I'm going to play it for you.
The Sunday before the election, I had the opportunity to meet with Elon Musk at his house for a couple hours to talk about the election. And aren't you all glad he's on our side? So I was talking to him. I spent about 2 hours and we were going over election, and he told me he had all this data. He told me how we were reaching out to Republicans we'd never reached out to before. And he told me, he said, I can tell you right now, I'm responsible for this. He said, I'm involved in every battleground state, and we're going to win every battleground state. And I am convinced that whatever he did, whatever rocket science thing he did, made a huge difference in this election.
All right, so he met with Elon before the election. The Sunday before the election, he said he met with Elon, and Elon told him, I'm responsible for this. He has data from all 7 battleground states, meaning swing states. And I want to play it one more time.
The Sunday before the election, I had the opportunity to meet with Elon Musk at his house for a couple hours to talk about the election. And aren't you all glad he's on our side? So I was talking to him. I spent about 2 hours and we were going over election, and he told me he had all this data. He told me how we were reaching out to Republicans we'd never reached out to before. And he told me, He said, I can tell you right now, I'm responsible for this. He said, I'm involved in every battleground state, and we're going to win every battleground state. And I am convinced that whatever he did, whatever rocket science thing he did, made a huge difference in this election.
Whatever rocket science thing he did made a huge difference in this election. He said he was involved in every battleground state, and Elon said he's responsible for this, and he said we're gonna win every battleground state. And you know, people say, oh, you can look at it two different ways. And yeah, you can look at it two different ways. But there's something very sinister about this conversation. It's one thing to be confident, but it's another thing to be openly saying this stuff, like bragging about it, because these people cannot help but brag about it, right? And I'm trying to take what he says at face value and not dig into it. But it seems to me that Elon Musk, in his election headquarters in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he was working on something very big in the months leading up to November 5th. And what it sounds like to me is that the Sunday before the election, this guy, Ken Paxton, went to either Elon's house or his election headquarters, and by that point, the Sunday before the election, Elon would have had everything in place, ready to go, to execute the plan for November 5th. So what I'm hearing is basically Elon Musk admitting that everything that happened, Elon was responsible for it. And that they were going to win all 7 states. And that he was responsible for this because you can hear when a candidate says, we're going to win these states, right? But if Elon Musk is saying we're going to win all 7 battleground states, it goes to me, it goes a step beyond just confident. To me, it says that he already knows what's going to happen at this point. I believe that he used his technology knowledge and his technology infrastructure to set up multiple systems for controlling the data in this election. So, and this video was after November 5th. This was at the Turning Point conference. So, this video is on my YouTube page. You can go and look at it. This is item 51 as of right now, and there's a link to the video so you can go look at the video yourself. This also lines up with Joe Rogan talking about Elon creating an app, and when I talk about the technology infrastructure that Elon Musk has, I believe that Elon built a custom app and it was connected to these systems that he built. I believe he built in not only sample data, but actual data about registered voters all across the country, and especially in the 7 swing states. And I have an item. There's an item on this list that I want to tell you about. Where I have I don't know where it went. Okay, well, if you go to my YouTube channel and you go to live tab where we're live right now, there is a video that has yellow and red and green colors. I ran a simulation on what possibly could have happened, and that talks about the system that I believe Elon Musk created. So you should check it out. It's 30 minutes, a little long, but okay, moving on. So that was February 2nd. So now we are up to March. So what item is this? On March 5th was the State of the Union, okay? And at the State of the Union, Donald Trump said Elon was in charge of Doge, whatever. And another person in Congress that talks about what we're talking about is Maxine Waters. Because she did an interview and she's on video saying that Elon Musk basically rigged the election. So they know about it. They're talking about it. You have to listen for it. So that was someone else talking about what we're saying. So then March 7th, 2 days later, Donald Trump was talking about the World Cup, and he said this.
And feels that we are doing something special. So we're here to create and to make the best show on the planet ever, and we'll do it together, Mr. President.
Oh, that's great. I love what he said, like 3 Super Bowls a day for a month. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's really amazing when you think of it. I've never heard that expressed. That's a lot. When we made this, it was made during my term, my first term, and it was so sad because I said, can you imagine, I'm not going to be president, and that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election, and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. That was quite an achievement for both of us. So I'll be president during the World Cup and during the Olympics, which we were very instrumental in getting. And then, of course, we have our 250th birthday, too.
All right, so I want to play it one more time.
Not going to be president, and that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election, and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. That was quite an achievement.
All right, so I know what I heard. I'm not sure what you heard, but I know what I heard. So I added that. That's number 69. There's a link to it on my list. You're welcome to go check it out. So those are just samples of videos and items that I have added to my list. Again, if you find something, you find an item that's not on the list, please let me know. You can send me an email. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. right now. I'm going through updating some of my stuff. I am also on Blue Sky at the Grumpy Dude. This is my picture right now. This is my cat. So you can send me a message on Blue Sky. You can send me an email. Those are the best way to get a hold of me. I'm also on TikTok. You can send me a message on TikTok. Send me items. If you want to get on the Discord, send me a message. I'll get you on the Discord. Right now, there is going to be a hand recount in Rockland County, New York. All right? There is a lawsuit to get a hand recount in Rockland County, New York. And let me tell you why this is important. I believe that there's something going on with our election infrastructure. And as of this moment, I am not aware of any post-election audits and post-election hand counting of ballots. I believe there's something wrong with the infrastructure, and I believe that if they do a hand count of paper ballots, I honestly believe that the truth will come to light, because I believe there's a significant difference between the paper ballots and what the results from the tabulation machines show. I honestly believe with a 95% plus percent of that there is something wrong between the paper ballots and the results from the tabulation machines. And I believe hand counting paper ballots and comparing it to the totals that were reported will absolutely show that. And that's what I am dying to see right now. They have a lawsuit that they want to be able to do that in Rockland County, New York. And there's other lawsuits that are out there that I've heard of. So we have the evidence. That's the number one reason of what makes us different than 2020, because I hear all the time that we sound the same as 2020, and the number one reason I would tell someone that says that is that the number one reason that we are different than 2020 is that we have evidence and we just need somebody to listen to us. That's why I made the list. That's why I have a list. That's why I'm compiling all the evidence. And, you know, maybe nothing can be done about 2024, but we have an election coming up next year. We have the midterms in 2026. And if nothing is done, nothing is going to change. So we absolutely need hand counts of paper ballots. We need to take a look at the election infrastructure in this country, because there are serious security holes in our infrastructure. And I'm going to take it even one step further, and I'm going to say that we need all election software in our country to be open source. And I'll explain what that means. Open source software can be the most secure software available anywhere in the world. And the reason for that is because when software is open source and published publicly to GitHub, you have bounty programs, bug programs, pen testing, and you have people testing the software for exploits and vulnerabilities. And right now, we have 2 companies that I'm not going to mention. There are 2 companies that handle 70% of all ballot processing in this country. 2. And we need to move the software from large companies to having all election software open source. And if those 2 companies want to move their software to be open source, I fully support that. And I will get behind them 100%. Because looking at the software and getting the software patched and getting it secure is in the benefit of all Americans. And doing 100% forensic investigations on the hardware is a whole other problem that I won't even get into. So, let me wrap up this video. I think it's a little long, but I appreciate all of you that have stuck with me through the video. I'm going to put up all the information on the screen. I have my list, 70 items of evidence. I have my email. I have my Blue Sky. My Blue Sky is the Grumpy Dude. That's how you can find me there. Send me a message. There are 2 organizations that handle election data analysis, Election Truth Alliance, and Smart Elections. Those are both their websites. I encourage you to go out, watch their videos. They are both on Blue Sky as well. Follow them on Blue Sky, follow all their updates. So I'm going to wrap up my video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys at the next video.